Historic flooding and dangerous weather are hitting the Hawaiian Islands right now as a rare and powerful Kona low storm stalls near the state. The slow-moving system is dumping relentless rain, bringing damaging winds, landslides, and widespread power outages across several islands. Maui has been hit especially hard. Rivers have overflowed, roads have washed away, and entire neighborhoods are being forced to evacuate. Emergency crews are working around the clock, rescuing residents who became trapped as floodwaters quickly rose through streets and homes. Just moments ago, dramatic scenes unfolded as floodwater rushed through parking lots and neighborhoods. Cars were left stranded in deep water, some pushed aside by the force of the current. Shopping carts and debris floated past as people watched the situation rapidly worsen. This powerful storm developed when a deep subtropical cyclone stalled to the northwest of the Hawaiian island chain. That system began pulling a massive stream of tropical moisture directly toward the islands, creating what meteorologists call an atmospheric river. Instead of the brief trade wind showers that Hawaii normally experiences, this system delivered intense, continuous rainfall. In several areas, rain has been falling at staggering rates between 1 and 3 inches per hour. Over just the last 48 hours, some communities have already recorded more than 20 inches of rain. In the mountains and higher elevations, totals may be even higher, raising serious concerns about flash flooding and landslides. Emergency officials are urging residents to stay off the roads, avoid floodwaters, and follow evacuation instructions if they are issued. With rivers continuing to rise and rain still falling, the situation remains extremely dangerous. Crews are also working to clear blocked roads and restore electricity as thousands of residents deal with power outages. In some areas, fallen trees and mudslides have completely cut off access to neighborhoods. Meanwhile, residents are documenting the chaos around them. In one area, people watched as floodwater rushed past stranded vehicles and debris scattered across the street. Others reported hearing loud cracks and pops as infrastructure struggled under the pressure of the rushing water. Authorities say conditions can change quickly during storms like this. What may look like a shallow stream of water can suddenly surge into a fast-moving flood capable of sweeping away vehicles and putting lives at risk. Meteorologists are continuing to track the Kona low as it lingers near the islands. Because the system is moving so slowly, the biggest concern right now is the potential for even more rainfall over already saturated ground. That means the risk of flash flooding and landslides could remain high for hours or even days, depending on how long the storm remains in place. For now, emergency responders remain on high alert, focusing on rescues, evacuations, and protecting communities from further damage. Residents are being urged to stay informed, listen to local officials, and take this storm seriously, as Hawaii faces one of the most intense weather events the islands have seen in recent years. Heavy rain falling across Maui quickly became even more dangerous because of the island's steep volcanic terrain. Water rushing down the slopes of Haleakala turned what began as heavy rainfall into powerful runoff within a short amount of time. As the water poured down the mountainsides, normally quiet valleys were suddenly transformed into fast-moving streams filled with mud, rocks, and debris. The rushing water carved through roads, yards, and low-lying areas, creating dangerous conditions for nearby communities. Residents described the situation as overwhelming, saying it felt like the entire island was surrounded by water. Small streams quickly overflowed their banks, and floodwaters pushed through neighborhoods, streets, and properties with little warning. In many areas, what started as steady rainfall rapidly turned into destructive flooding as the terrain funneled huge volumes of water downhill, sending powerful currents through places that are usually calm and dry. One of the hardest hit areas has been the famous Hana Highway, a road known for its winding cliffs and scenic views. During this storm, however, that same terrain became extremely dangerous. Landslides struck multiple sections of the highway, including areas near Twin Falls, tearing apart parts of the roadway and leaving them completely impassable. The damage has effectively cut off the remote community of Hana from the rest of Maui. With the main road blocked by debris, mud, and collapsed pavement, emergency responders have had to rely on helicopters to deliver supplies and reach residents who were stranded by the flooding. Rescue operations continued through the night across parts of South Maui as rapidly rising water trapped several residents in their homes and vehicles. Emergency crews worked in difficult conditions to reach those who could not escape on their own. Dozens of people from the isolated Hana region were eventually transported to emergency shelters after severe washouts made travel impossible. For many residents, the safest option was leaving their homes until the roads could be cleared and conditions stabilized. Meanwhile, scenes across the island showed just how quickly the flooding developed. Vehicles were left stranded in rising water, some stuck in areas where roads had suddenly turned into rushing streams. Witnesses watched as water flowed past parked cars and debris moved through the streets. Across Maui County, more than 100 residents have already been staying in emergency shelters. Officials opened multiple facilities to help those displaced by the flooding, including shelters in Kahului, Kihei, Lanai City, and Lahaina. Inside these shelters, volunteers and emergency teams have been providing food, drinking water, and medical assistance while families wait for the storm to pass and conditions to improve. At the same time, strong winds and heavy rain have also triggered widespread power outages across the islands. Earlier in the storm, more than 130,000 customers across Hawaii lost electricity after powerful gusts and falling trees knocked down power lines and damaged electrical infrastructure. Utility crews are working to restore power, but with flooded roads and dangerous conditions in many areas, repairs are proving difficult and slow. For thousands of residents, the storm has meant long hours in the dark as crews continue working to bring electricity back online. Although some electricity has been restored, thousands of homes across the islands are still without power. Utility crews continue working to repair damaged lines, but the dangerous weather and flooded roads are making those repairs slow and difficult. Conditions have also been severe on Oahu. In Honolulu, intense rainfall overwhelmed the city's drainage systems, sending water rushing across major roads and flooding parts of the H1 freeway. Several vehicles became partially submerged near the University of Hawaii at Manoa as water quickly filled the highway. The well-known Waikiki district also experienced serious street flooding. Storm drains struggled to handle the volume of rain, causing water to spill over sidewalks and roads and even push into nearby buildings and businesses. Emergency crews were called into action in multiple locations. In one dramatic rescue, firefighters in Honolulu saved 4 people and a dog who had become trapped on bridge pillars near Kaimuki High School after rapidly rising floodwaters surrounded them. The storm has also raised concerns about critical infrastructure. Officials have been closely monitoring the Wahiawa Dam as water levels climbed toward dangerous thresholds. As a precaution, emergency managers issued evacuation alerts for nearby communities. Fortunately, the warning was later lifted once water levels stabilized and the immediate threat eased. At the same time, strong winds and heavy rain have also triggered widespread power outages across the islands. Earlier in the storm, more than 130,000 customers across Hawaii lost electricity after powerful gusts and falling trees knocked down power lines and damaged electrical infrastructure. Utility crews are working to restore power, but with flooded roads and dangerous conditions in many areas, repairs are proving difficult and slow. For thousands of residents, the storm has meant long hours in the dark as crews continue working to bring electricity back online. Environmental concerns are also beginning to grow. As floodwaters rush down the mountains and through neighborhoods, they are carrying large amounts of sediment, debris, and potential pollutants into coastal waters, raising worries about impacts to beaches and marine ecosystems. Across the Hawaiian Islands, beaches that are usually known for their clear blue water have turned dark brown. Massive amounts of muddy runoff have flowed into the ocean as floodwaters carried soil, debris, and sediment from the mountains down to the coastline. Because of this contamination, officials issued what are known as brown water advisories. Residents and visitors are being warned to stay out of the ocean for now due to the risk of bacteria, debris, and polluted runoff that could pose serious health concerns. The destruction has been especially severe across Maui. In the Iao Valley area, dramatic footage showed a residential home collapsing into a swollen stream after powerful floodwaters eroded the soil beneath its foundation. The ground simply gave way as the current continued to carve away at the riverbank. Thankfully, the family who lived in the home had already evacuated just hours before the collapse happened, avoiding what could have been a tragic situation. Farmers across upcountry Maui are also reporting serious damage. Heavy rain and fast-moving water washed away valuable soil and flooded large portions of agricultural land. Crops have been destroyed in some areas, and the farming community is now facing significant losses as recovery efforts begin. State leaders are responding to the crisis. Governor Josh Green has declared a statewide state of emergency, a move that allows emergency agencies to quickly mobilize additional resources and speed up rescue and recovery operations. Officials say this storm is shaping up to be one of the most intense rainfall events the Hawaiian Islands have experienced in decades. While rainfall has started to slow down in a few areas, authorities warn that the danger is not over yet. The ground across many parts of the islands is completely saturated, which means even a small amount of additional rain could trigger more flooding or landslides. Emergency managers are urging residents to remain cautious, stay away from flooded roads, and continue monitoring official warnings as crews work to rescue those still affected and begin assessing the full extent of the damage caused by this historic Kona storm. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.